Hey guys, welcome back to Untitled. This is Jenny Sharp with National Title Group. My guest today is my old friend Ryan Picou. We go way back.
Yeah, let's not say how long.
We're going to say it.
It's roughly like 14 years.
I was going to say 14 or 15 years.
I actually have this picture of us.
Okay.
Is there a date on it?
I know when it's from.
Yeah, it's from Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah.
Shout out Big Brothers Big Sister charity party every year. Oh, wait, December 2015. Look at this young hottie right here. Look at Jenny Sharp just killing it.
Yeah, totally killing it in my bandage dress in 2015 when no one was still wearing bandage dresses, by the way. I was still trying to hold on to it like I hold on to skinny jeans.
You were very tan in that photo.
Yes.
That's when tanning was a thing, you know?
It still is. I can't hang on to it as long anymore.
Got it.
So I'm still doing it. Not in the tanning beds. I quit the tanning beds in college for skin cancer reasons. But yeah.
Yeah, you and Kelly Foster were like my two favorite girls to hang out with. Actually, I think I had crushes on both of y'all at the same time.
We had crushes on you too.
Met you, yeah.
I think at the same time.
Yeah.
So but you know what? We didn't fight over it.
Hey, that's
we're still
all right.
Friends. Hey, Kelly, love you, girl. She lives in Tulsa now. Did you know that?
Married, couple kids. Yeah.
Twins. Yeah.
Nice guy, it seems like. I haven't met him, but he seems good.
Living a great life. Closer to her parents now. I'm happy for her, but I miss her. We had a lot of good times, the three of us.
Yeah, we had a lot of hazy times as well, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I've grown up from that.
Yeah.
Not by choice, but by my body saying, I cannot do this anymore. We need you to stop.
Yeah, I remember
you need to hold down a job.
One Texas OU weekend with you and Kelly that I think I was still tired from, AKA hungover probably.
I absolutely was.
A week after. So.
I do remember that one because I went to bed, I think around 4 or 6 a.m., woke up around 8.
Yeah.
You picked us up. We went straight to House of Blues.
Oh, House of Blues, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then it was just a whole day from there.
Yeah, we put like 10 people in my Tahoe, and I think we got out at Patio Grill. Shout out Patio Grill.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that place.
Yeah, that place was fun.
These are the glory days of Dallas that a lot of you don't even know about.
Yeah.
We had some fun times. So I want to say we probably met around 2009.
Yeah,
I would say,
I moved to Dallas in 2008 to work for the Cowboys.
And I want to talk about that too.
So Dallas has been home besides a stint in Los Angeles for about 2 years since then.
Yeah. And did you ever move back to New Orleans for a job
did,
for a certain point?
For about 9 months, and then off to LA. So, but
I do remember when you moved to LA.
Yeah, I was out there working with the LA Galaxy MLS team, so it was good. But I was ready to come back, and so I guess when you think about it, the majority of since 2009, the past 15 years, ultimately. Really been in Dallas 13 of those, which is kind of crazy to think about.
That's funny because my journey with Dallas is kind of the same. I got here in 2008, and then I ended up moving back to Tulsa for a job for like 2010 to 2012.
All
and
the guys were
I could not wait to
when
get back
you left. All the guys were crushed.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah, they're so happy to have you
No
back.
one said it to me, so...
But you're IAR, which is in a relationship. You're happy.
Yes.
In a relationship.
IAR is that?
Yeah,
is that a thing, or is that a Ryan Picou thing?
That's what people used to say on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh,
now
okay.
I'm really showing
You're not
my
even on
age.
Facebook
No,
anymore,
I'm not.
so.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
I want to say back in our old days, and this podcast is not going to be just us recounting stories, but you know what? We really have not seen each other over the years. And then we just kind of reconnected at the end of 2023 for work. And so I feel like this episode is even just us catching up.
Yeah.
I don't even know about your life anymore. I miss you. I miss us.
Yeah.
I want to know everything. But I wanted to say back, when the first year, I guess we knew each other, when we were hanging out a lot with Kelly Foster, Kelly Nielsen now. You took me to a Cowboys gala.
Yeah. Oh, as my date. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And we're not going to talk about the fact that you gave me about 2 days notice. So I do know I was not your first choice.
I don't think that's true. I was just nervous to ask you. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Okay. Bullshit. And I had to find a dress in like 2 days, get it altered because of course a gown is not going to fit perfectly in a couple days, but I don't care about that. I had a great time. And I got to meet Barry Switzer.
Yep.
Which
you were
I still
so
talk about.
Ecstatic about that. Yeah. Big OU
I didn't care
girl.
about anyone else.
Yeah.
There. I don't even remember who else was there. I just wanted to talk to him. He was the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
And I even met him again about a year later at Hotel Zaza before the OU A&M game at Cowboy Stadium. And couldn't have been nicer.
Did he remember you?
I think he pretended to. Of course he doesn't remember me, right? Yeah. I'm like, don't you remember a year ago you meet 100,000 people a year? No, he did not remember, but
that's okay.
That's definitely my best memory with you, is you taking me to that. But then you ditched me.
Wait, I don't think. Can we hit pause? We need to talk about this off air.
This mic reconfigured. We're talking about this.
I ditched you. I don't say like.
Do you not remember?
I don't recall that.
Okay, so this is what happened. You took me to the gala. We had a good time, and we took like some sort of Sprinter van or a party bus or something,
Sure.
and we were going to some club afterwards. I don't know if it was PM.
Okay.
I think it might have been
probably PM
because that's basically where we were every weekend, and I remember I just have a very tiny bladder. I always have. And if I'm drinking, like I have to pee like 100,000 times a night.
Yeah.
And so, we were in Arlington and then going to downtown or uptown Dallas. So that's about 30 minutes. And I almost had an accident on the bus. Like I had to go so bad. And the
for a
minute
second,
that car stopped. Oh no, you thought
I thought you were gonna say I left you in Arlington. I was like,
oh
wow.
No.
Okay, okay, good.
No.
Because I don't remember that at all. I would never leave you in Arlington.
No, what had happened is, there was a line to get into whatever club we're going into. So as soon as that bus stopped, I hauled ass. I ran out of that van and into like an empty restaurant, but that was open, but it wasn't open to the public at that point. Maybe it had shut down for the night, like dinner service was over. And I sprinted to the bathroom. I came back out. You were gone the rest of the night.
This sounds like PM Lounge.
Yeah.
I think probably I was thinking to myself, she left me. I'm heartbroken. I'm just going to go home and order a meat lover's pizza. And I just shut it down.
I don't know if I had talked to you about it or if someone else told me, but I think whoever told me said he thought you left him. And I go, no, I was clearly running. I was gone for 2 minutes. I was gone for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Worst gala day ever.
And then you were gone the rest of the night. So, and then someone may have told me, I could be misremembering that you had maybe met someone else right after that. And then that was your night.
It didn't work out.
But
whoever that person was.
I still had fun. I don't care.
Yeah. And you met Barry Switzer. Yeah.
Anything that could have gone wrong that night is made up for because I met Barry Switzer. It was the best night of my life. Yeah. It was my profile picture for many, many years on and off. I tell anyone and everyone who will listen that I've met him and he's amazing.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I'm glad I could provide that.
Yes.
You're welcome.
How's your dating life been since then?
Oh, we're just hopping right into that, huh?
I mean, I know a lot of your dating history. You dated someone for a long time that I was friends with.
No, I mean, look, like I think I meet more girls that don't live in Dallas.
Because you travel so much for work?
Well, I think, I don't know, circumstance, apps, whatever. But I mean, dating's good. Look, like I think, like I've been single probably for about 1.5 years. Like I meet a lot of nice people. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been cool. Like I'm definitely one of those people where, I want to meet somebody, so I don't mind going on first dates. My mindset on it is, well, hey, we might be friends. It might work out.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's probably not like the most interesting part of it. Like the good people that I've met.
We don't want to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still people. Single, so,
you heard that first.
There you go.
Ladies, he's still single. I have a lot of people ask about you.
Good.
Anytime I post you on social media, when you came in to do your Challenger program for that group of realtors. literally every single woman in there was like, is he single? Is
That's
he single?
nice.
Is he single?
That's flattering. That's nice. That's nice. No, I mean, listen, I'm sure I have like funny dating stories just like everybody else. I'm trying to think of some. So recently I met a girl, okay? She was pretty. We had like similar interests.
Yeah.
She's nice. She's great. We went to a Stars game. But I remember when we met.
That's a great first date.
It's a good first date. It's a good first date. I got some good tickets, so we were into it. And then I remember when we first met, she said that I looked a little bit like her brother, which I thought was okay, a little unique of a first like sort of interaction. But we still like chatted, still went on a date, and then after the first date, you know, she was like, look, like, I don't know if I could kiss you, like, when it came to that point, like, you just look a little like my brother. So I think that obviously ended that, like, opportunity there, but that was sort of like an interesting thing to hear from somebody.
Yeah. Well, you would think if it bothered her that much that it just wouldn't even... You wouldn't even go on the date, maybe?
Yeah, who knows?
Did you see a picture of the brother?
I did, and I do look like him.
Okay.
And I do look like him. I do look like him.
Okay,
So I can't, I'm not mad at her. I get it.
So she's one of the good ones, actually.
She's a good one. She's a good one. Yeah.
Anything else fun that's happened? Funny, interesting?
I would say like I went on a date with a girl, hung out once or twice, and she sent me a text that said, would you be okay with me being an SAHM? Okay. For those of you, do you know what that stands for?
Yeah, stay-at-home mom.
Stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was an acronym for that, right?
Okay.
Like, so, and like, by the way,
not a lot
like,
of guys would.
Yeah, like I'm respectful. Like, and by the way, I want my wife to like raise my kids and take care of my kids. So yeah, totally. But I just thought after like date 2, it was a little bit funny that I got that
was
acronym.
date number 2.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. One other one.
Okay, can we go back to that?
Yeah, we can go back to that. We can go back to that one.
The second date, she was already asking about what your married life would be like and if it's okay if she could be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, and like truthfully though, like I kind of respect it because
you do?
Yeah, well, in this way, like I was also like there was this other story. I feel like, oh God, I'm just telling.
No, I want to hear all of
good
this.
stories.
This is fun.
I went on a couple dates
me.
with a girl, and I found out after that she really didn't believe in God, nor did she want to have kids. So like I immediately thought like, man, I probably need to ask sooner because I went out with her.
That's something you
like,
need to know
4 or 5 times, right? Yeah. So like even for this girl, like I guess for her, which she's a great girl, super beautiful. Like if that's important to her, I guess like, hey, let's just get it out in the upfront.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, those are deal breakers.
Yeah, like hey, let's just talk about it. I kind of respect everybody what they want and feel. But like probably the most unique one, right, is with a girl. I'll set the stage with this. She's from LA. She's like really pretty. Like really pretty. I would say like she's somewhat on like the semi-popular side, like
she's well known.
She's like well known, popular like blogger. And so
blogger in LA.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot. We're not going to narrow it down. But we went on a date. It went really good. And I was like, whoa, I was like really into her. I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
But then like ultimately, like after a couple conversations, like the distance, Dallas to LA was probably an obstacle, but also she sent me a text asking me when my birthday was. And so, I gave her my date and she's like, oh, a Libra. And then she asked me when I was born. And so like naturally I had to ask my mom. I'm like, Mom, what time of the day was I born?
Yeah.
And so this is where it gets kind of funny. So she sent me a message and said like, on top of like some distant stuff that like our signs really weren't a match and like we probably shouldn't explore dating. And so
despite hitting it off so well.
Yeah. Besides
she's like nope, gotta ignore that.
In real life getting along.
Mismatched signs, sorry. That's insane to me.
So here's the funny part though. And again, like I respected it. Like I like whatever.
Well, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, if that's what's important to her, no hard feelings. Like, and I do try and respect everybody's feelings. But my mom sent me a text that said 6:48 a.m. Mm-hmm. So that's what I gave her. So then like a day later, my mom sent me back a text that said, wait, it was wrong. It was 6:48 p.m. And
Which
so
I'm sure for this woman makes a huge difference.
well, I didn't tell her. I probably should have said like, hey, how about this time? But like at that point, I felt like
it was already
the ship had sailed.
Yeah.
The ship had sailed. And so yeah. So,
that is so LA, by the way.
It's very West Coast, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't
yeah,
even
look,
know
like
to say
I'm
that.
still out there, still positive. I think there's a ton of good, eligible girls in Dallas. But listen, I do have this perspective, okay? This is interesting to me, right? So let's think about this. So when you think about anything that's in demand, right? Like a product, a person, anything.
Okay.
When it's in demand, no one, like, it's easy to either sell that product or for people to buy it. Like, it's there, right?
Yeah.
You know, like at some level, you would argue if it's in too much demand, you can't get it. But I'm not talking about that, right? Like something that people want.
Okay.
So, like, it's funny to me that I have all these guys that I talk to and all these girls that I talk to. And they talk about, like, I just want to meet somebody. I want to settle down. I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. But, like, no one in Dallas seems to be able to get it right. Like, you would think, like, there's all these people that want the same thing. So the same thing is in demand.
Okay, you make a really good point.
Nobody can figure it out. Like, now there's people like you who figured it out, you know?
Do you know how long it took me to meet my boyfriend?
Yeah.
I was single for over 10 years.
Yeah.
I had not been in a serious relationship for over 10 years because I could not find anyone.
Well, I'm sure you're picky too, right? In a good way.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm so picky that I'm making it even harder on myself.
Yeah.
I just have certain standards, you know?
No, you have
a
to.
job.
Yeah. And listen, I think I'm picky.
Be a good person.
But like not even in a way like where I have like unrealistic expectations. Like I've also dated some really good girls. Like my ex-girlfriend, she was amazing. Like great, just really good person. Like we just couldn't get there.
The latest?
Yeah.
Do I know her?
Probably.
I might follow her.
Yeah, probably.
Influencer here in Dallas?
No.
Okay.
She's just normal.
I follow the other one then.
Great person. Yeah. She's just like a really good person. So like, yeah, like if I'm gonna do it again, like they have to be a really great person. You know, we just couldn't figure it out, you know, like which, you know, whatever. There were some reasons there, nothing bad. But yeah, like when you date really good people, like you're not gonna settle after that, you know? So
No, once you've met people like that, but then a lot of those people are married. So you just gotta wait for them to get divorced.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point
My
now.
boyfriend's divorced.
He's divorced. That's okay. Well, he's made.
So we had to wait.
He made his mistakes, or maybe he learned from his ex's mistakes. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so he's in a better place.
I think the timing was
Does he
right.
have kids? Does he have kids?
No.
No kids.
Golden
No kids.
Doodles.
Okay,
So
good.
which are his kids.
That's a red
So
flag.
I'm a stepmom.
Yeah. People, I'm not a big fan of dogs, and I get a lot of flack for that. Yeah, I know. And I probably shouldn't have admitted
Do you
that.
dislike dogs?
I don't dislike dogs. I've just never had a dog. So, like, I just,
Oh.
you know.
But have you ever had
Dating
a
a
serious
girl with
girlfriend
a dog is tough, though. You know?
It depends what their personality is.
Because it's like, oh, we got to go let the dog out. We got to go do
Yeah.
this. We got to pick up the dog. Like, I feel like once I lived with someone, I would be more open to, like, having a dog together.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And you also don't like other people's dogs until
you
you
don't?
really get to know them.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've had 2 dogs, and I don't like anyone else's dogs as much as mine. You know, I love dogs. I'm obsessed with dogs. But the love, you know, I have always loved my boyfriend's dogs, but, you know, they were always his.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
once we moved in together, and now it's just taken to a whole different level. Like I am a stepmom now.
You're
I
stepmom
love
now.
them. Yeah.
So I dated a girl with a cat.
Okay, well that's different.
Yeah. But like at the end of the day, here's
don't
my
have to love them.
Here's my thing. My responsibility level for the cat was so minimal.
They don't need
If she went
taken
out of
care of.
town for like 3 or 4 days, I would go over there. I would like pet the cat, feed the cat, and then ultimately,
pet on the head. Yeah.
my responsibility with the cat was basically over. So,
Well, yeah, cats just take care of themselves. Just make sure they have their litter box and food, and you're good,
yeah,
right?
look, dog, cat, kids, I'm kind of open to it all. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if
No,
that's
you
what you
definitely
have.
want kids, right?
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
kids, but I'm saying even if a girl had kids.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
a kid.
Well, at our age, you have to be, or you're just eliminating like 50% of the dating pool.
Yeah. But I will say this. Do you think dating in Dallas is unique?
Yes.
So I have a perspective on this. Why do you think it's unique?
I think it's a lot of people, Dallas does have a lot of transplants.
Yeah.
I'm a transplant. You're a transplant. I'm from Oklahoma. You're from Louisiana. So we don't come from like New York, LA, where we have a different mindset about dating, where people say it is really hard to date, those bigger cities, because people may have Peter Pan syndrome, especially in LA. I noticed though, when I moved to Dallas, a lot of men have Peter Pan syndrome here.
Yeah, they don't want to grow up.
And I think even if they're from Dallas or have come from, a smaller city, from Tulsa or something, that they want to have that big city mentality, and then they just kind of go crazy and the partying never stops for them. That's been my perspective.
No, that's a good perspective.
Yeah.
I think like alongside that, so a couple of my married buddies came here last year for fantasy football weekend.
Okay.
By the way, married people are the worst to hang out with for like a long weekend.
Oh, you can't keep up with them.
They're caged animals.
Yeah.
They're caged animals.
Moms.
They're like
married
moms,
people.
dads, whoever.
Get them away from their kids.
We got
or their
the ice
spouse.
house. They just landed. We got the ice house at noon. They're like tequila shots. I'm like, what?
No, I can't keep up with my married
noon.
friends.
Yeah. One of my buddies, oh God, I hope his wife doesn't listen to this part. She's great. She would laugh about it. But
I don't think she'll find this podcast.
He stayed an extra day just to like recover before he had to like go back to start taking care of children. Yeah.
Oh, and the kids.
Yeah.
I would do the same exact thing. He should have already had that plan.
Yeah. So anyway, like they're not invited back again because it was a madhouse. I'm too old for that level of fun.
Or you're gonna have to plan for it and be like, oh, I have stuff going on that weekend, so I'll be in and out.
Or like you come for 24 hours and that's it, y'all.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I can't handle them.
But they came here, and we're from New Orleans, right? And so one of the things that they really identified quickly was like, wait, we just went into a Walgreens and there was like two of the prettiest girls I've seen. Like they came to Lifetime with me. They're like, wait. So ultimately what they were getting at was not that there was a ton of pretty people in itself, but there was a ton of pretty people in a very concentrated area, right? Like this whole area, Knox, Henderson, Uptown, whatever.
Yeah,
like 25 to 45 with like a ton of eligible people. So like my perspective is like, by the way, this is my biggest pet peeve too. Like, I don't need a pen pal, right? Like you start talking to somebody, you're sending text messages for like 3 or 4 weeks and all this. Like
3 or 4 weeks.
Let's just like go have a coffee or a drink or whatever.
I'm the same way.
But I think like when I see these people, like they text a lot and this and that, but like they go on a date and maybe it's not great. Maybe it's just like good, right? But then they're like, well, it wasn't great. I don't really want to be vulnerable. So I'm just going to like move on. And by the way, I just saw a girl at Walgreens that like I would ask out. So like whatever. So I don't know. That's my perspective. Too many good looking people in a concentrated area, which gives the perception that there's an option around every corner. What's your thoughts?
100% agree. Yes, the options, the grass is always greener syndrome, the FOMO, all of it. And I definitely noticed that dating. I had a hard time dating. I hated it.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. I don't want a pen pal. I want definitely to talk enough either through the dating app or through text just to get their vibe.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, yeah, let's go on a date. But for a couple days or whatever. And I understand like things get busy, so maybe you don't answer on the app for a couple days or so.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. But let's just have that coffee or a drink.
Let's get it over with.
Get it over with and see if we match. And if we don't, let's move on with our lives.
Yeah.
I don't need 100 matches in a dating app. And I've never been that way. I have friends, they'll show me their matches, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I'm like, how do you even find that many people attractive?
I just need to know if you're a serial killer. And that's it. Like let's just meet for a coffee. If you're not a serial killer, maybe it's a drink.
Yeah, like do you have crazy tendencies, male or female? It doesn't matter. Like they're all out there. They're among us. But they're at Walgreens. We don't even know it.
We're saying a lot of the negative. We are, right? We are.
Well, I had a lot of negative. I have a negative perspective on dating in Dallas.
But like ultimately, I think that's a big thing too. Like we got to remember there's like so many good people here in Dallas. And like I actually have dated really nice girls that like it just didn't work out. So like it's not it's not all bad.
You've gotten really lucky though.
There's like some really good ones here. Even if it was just like a good first date. but like it just didn't develop. So
yeah, and you're like, there's just not that romantic chemistry.
We got to keep it positive. We got to keep it positive for the people out there. We got to keep it positive.
I'm the one in a relationship and I'm not keeping it positive. It should be the other way around. I'm so jaded.
Yeah.
If my boyfriend and I ever break up, get ready, world.
You'll get
I'm gonna
scooped
be
up fast.
Such a bad mood all the time.
You'll get so scooped up.
I've always hated dating.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm like, let's just get it over. Let's just see if we match or not. It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Because, ultimately I don't want to be alone. But sometimes I went for years where I did want to be alone.
Yeah.
I liked it.
And
I do like being single.
Doing my own thing.
Yeah. My boyfriend and I do our own thing all the time.
Yeah.
I'll sleep in a separate bedroom half the week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. We might have to unpack that
later. He
later.
has a different schedule than I do.
Yeah.
And he sleeps 4 to 6 hours a night.
Oh,
I sleep 8 to 10.
I know that.
Yeah.
That's the other part that's tough for me. Like I travel so much for work. I'm pretty much gone, 1 or 2 nights a week, 3 weeks out the month.
Is that a deterrent when you're trying to date women?
It's tough. I mean, I think like I can't be as organic, right? Where I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday. Like, hey, you want to hang out Thursday? Like I have to be like, hey, next Wednesday, do you want to get a drink, right?
Okay, but if that were me, I would love that. Because my boyfriend was the only guy I've ever dated that actually made plans in advance instead of texting me at 4:30 and be like, you want to meet for drinks at 6:30? Absolutely not. Even if I don't have plans, I'm going to tell you I have plans because that's not giving me enough time to get ready.
Yeah.
I want to look good for you.
It's
and you're
like,
not giving me
it's like if some dude would invite you to
disrespectful.
like a gala like 2 days before. Like no time.
Well, and that's why we didn't work out. But I still tell people I met Barry Switzer. So
no time.
No, I think that's a really good trait to have. So I wouldn't see that as a negative. And I think a lot of women really respect that and they see it as an advantage. Oh, he's actually making plans in advance, even if it's in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I love that because now I have 3 weeks to think about what I'm going to wear. And to plan my life around it.
I'm more like a week probably. I need like a week heads up,
Oh, week is great too. Yeah.
But yeah, work's been good. I've been on the road a lot, which that's a good thing,
So you are consulting now.
Yeah. So I joined that sports agency probably about a year and some change ago. I am not a sports agent.
Correct.
We do have that as a piece of our offerings as a company, but we're on the team consulting side. So pro sports teams hire us. We consult sort of on the revenue generating areas of the business. Certainly, excuse me, we've done some leadership training, sales training. We did some with y'all, which was really fun.
We're going to do it again.
Yeah, love that. And so, so we're moving and shaking. We signed a deal with a couple pro Canadian soccer teams recently. So I've been spending a lot of time in Canada. I'm going to Calgary next week. Yeah.
What's the weather like there now?
Is
it
cold,
still really cold?
Very cold.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay an extra couple of days and I'm going to go to Banff State Park.
What's that?
It's like, Google it. It's literally the prettiest place ever. So that's cool. So I'll be doing that.
So the traveling is definitely a perk if you like traveling.
At times.
Yeah. You get to see a lot of cool places.
Yeah.
I personally can't do a travel job. I hate travel.
Yeah.
I like being in the destination. I don't like everything it takes to get there.
I've been doing it for like 8 or 9 years.
So you're just used to it by now.
But I have big news for you too that I haven't shared yet.
Wait.
Yeah.
What is it?
So I'm like at a 90% right now. This will be good to get your perspective.
Okay.
And as the background, we talked about this when we first started. I've been in Dallas so long. Mm-hmm. So I've been thinking about a change.
Okay.
Right? And so trying to be practical about this, I have all but secured a furnished place in Nashville, Tennessee for the month of April. So my work travel will be booked from Nashville. So when I get back from Canada, I'll drive my car to Nashville.
Okay.
And then I'll live there for a month and I'll like test drive it. Okay. To see if I like it. Now.
What do you mean? For permanent residents?
For permanent residents.
I don't like it.
Yeah, for permanent residents. I don't know if I'm just like, I can't stop moving. I've lived a lot of places. I've been here too long. I like one new or change. But I think at the very least, my perspective on it is, I don't know, I'll go live in another cool city for a month. I have the means to do it. And if I'm not really in love with it, Then it was just a little bit of like a break.
What about this?
I know you're gonna tear this apart. My mother has too, but keep going.
No.
Keep going.
Does your mom live here in Dallas?
She's in Fort Worth. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, obviously she hates this idea. And I know you're close with your mom, so of course she hates it. So what about this alternative? And it will make everyone happy.
Give it to me.
You just get a second home in Nashville.
Okay, yeah.
And you can go there anytime you want.
This is gonna be tough.
Why?
Just financially. I have to own 2 homes. But
I thought you just said you had the means to do it.
I have the
but
means.
Not to be a homeowner.
Well, I have the means to rent a place for a month there.
What if you Airbnb'd it?
Yeah, that's true. I could do something like that.
income?
I could buy like a small place, Airbnb it. But like, think about this. My life, I live consistently on the road. So like, that's one reason why I say settled when I get home. Like, I don't take a lot of personal vacations.
Yeah.
Because I'm just tired from traveling. So living in 2 different places could be tough. But yeah, I do have the means to like buy a place and Airbnb it there. Or I could test drive it for a month, see if I like it.
I would definitely test drive.
And then if I like it, consider moving there.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I know
just
Dallas.
reconnected.
Dallas would be so devastated.
Who's
what
going
would
to
they
teach the
do
Challenger
without me?
program
Yeah.
here?
I'll fly.
I'm already getting you set up with CE certified. We're going to get these realtors in.
I'll fly in town to do it. And then think about you could have a friend to visit in Nashville.
That's true. You know who else has a home in Nashville?
Who?
Your friend Theo Vaughn.
Oh, Theo Vaughn, my guy. Yeah.
How do you know him?
Yeah. So
He's one of my favorite comedians of all time.
Yeah, and truthfully, we haven't connected in years, so I don't want to pretend like me and him are like hanging out on the weekends. But
do you have his phone number?
I do. I do have.
I know
his phone
he's
number.
changed it a million times, so I don't know if you have the right one.
Yeah. So we originally. I don't know if I do. Would you want to like text him and see if he texts me back, or no?
Yeah, if you want to. I have his phone number, but it's got to be an old phone number.
Oh, you have his. Oh, okay.
Because I went to lunch with him.
You went to lunch with Theo, yeah.
When he was in town at the Addison Improv in 2017.
But how did you meet him?
So I started listening to he had at least one podcast out in 2017.
Yeah.
And I always kind of knew who he was because he was from Road Rules.
Yeah.
And I used to watch that all the time. Yeah. But he's not someone I had thought about. And then all of a sudden he has a podcast and he's a comedian. He's a stand-up comedian. And I don't know how that came into my awareness, but it did. And then I checked and somehow we were friends on Facebook and you were our only mutual friend. I'm like, I don't know if I asked him as a creep or if he asked me. No idea how long we've been friends on Facebook, but I just had started listening to his podcast, saw that we were friends on Facebook because I think I was trying to look for his page or something. And maybe his personal had turned into a business page.
A business page, yeah.
And because I just wanted to message him because I was obsessed with his comedy.
Yeah,
I was like, how is this guy so funny? He's from Road Rules. And so I messaged him, just the nicest, like, I just want to let you know, I listen to your podcast. I think you are hilarious. I think you're going to be huge.
Yeah.
And I was right, by the way. And he messaged back and we just went back and forth and he was so nice. He was like,
was this romantic at all?
No. And he was like, so after a while,
Are you sure?
No, after a while I couldn't tell, but he was always being very respectful and nice. So I couldn't tell.
Well, Louisiana boys are like that.
Yeah.
You know, like all you girls should try and date Louisiana boys just for the record. But keep going.
You heard it here first. And so he was just like, oh, that's really nice of you to say that. What do you like about the podcast? You know, I think he was trying to find his comedy voice and seeing why I liked it. I might have been a different target market than he was used to.
Yeah.
So he was like asking why I thought it was so funny and blah, blah, blah. And he eventually was like, hey, I'm actually performing at the Addison Improv in maybe 3 or 4 months from whenever we were talking. Yeah. And so I went with my friend. One of the best comedy shows I've ever been to, hands down, still to this day. And
we know you're in a happy, healthy relationship.
Yeah.
But like,
he doesn't care. We can talk
did you
stuff.
Get the warm and fuzzies when you were around Theo? Like, were you
a little bit?
Yeah. Like, you were, like if he would have tried to kiss you, you would have done it.
Yeah, but we really weren't in a setting to do that.
Yeah.
So
so you did want it. Okay. You did want to kiss. Oh,
I could have gone either way.
Why are you getting so nervous?
I'm blushing. I could have gone either way. What had happened is, you know, we were talking. I said, hey, I'm coming to the show.
Yeah.
And he was like, we should meet up after the show. But I didn't want to do that because I wasn't sure his intentions at that point.
Yeah. I don't think you were sure of your intentions at that point.
It was more me than him to be scared of. And so I said no because his last show ended around 11 or midnight.
Yeah.
And then we would have been hanging out where? And he was newly sober at the time, so we weren't going to a bar or anything. So it would have been like his hotel room. So I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I was scared. And so what ended up happening is we went to lunch at fucking Modern Market.
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. It's at 75 in Walnut Hill.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just this like fast casual place. It's not even like a real restaurant.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even go for that long because I had to babysit my niece the next day.
Oh,
so we went to lunch for like an hour or whatever. It was totally platonic because it's not like a sexy location to go. I don't even consider it a date at all.
Yeah, we all went to basically Whole Foods. I mean, you should have went someplace more romantic.
He's going city to city, so he's lonely, right? Like he wants to make friends. So I just thought of it as like a friend date or whatever. And he was hilarious. Could not have been nicer. Very respectful. Nothing happened. We parted ways, never talked again.
He's such a great dude. Like, again, we haven't probably connected in a couple of years since I lived in LA. We used to watch Saints games in LA together, like, you know, when they played. And then we knew each other in college when we were both in Baton Rouge. And he was like, called me. He's like, hey, man, which I knew he was on Road Rules.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, we're coming through Baton Rouge. The TV crew's going to be there. So like you have to like be there. We're going to have like a house party at my old apartment.
Fun. When was this?
This was, I don't even want to say. I mean,
Just
it was,
say it.
what was this? 2006 maybe?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
It was a great year.
And so, you know, ultimately, like they came through, whatever. We were all, you know, at this party. And I just remember being like, I felt like I was on stage, you know, because the cameras were there. I was like trying to like be the fun guy there. Like I was like, we're playing this game called Power Hour. Have you ever played that?
Of course. I mean,
literally.
I know what it is. I've only played it once or twice. I don't want to die. I don't have a death wish.
No, not that anyone cares, but like this part of my life has been over for years. But in college,
Same.
You take a shot of beer every minute if you don't know, and it's like the constant flow of alcohol sort of through your veins where you get really intoxicated.
Yeah.
So I remember like trying to be the funnest dude so I could make it on TV. And literally like 40 minutes into the party, they were like, dude, you have to go home. Like I couldn't even stand up. So like literally
like, you're a liability.
Any shots that they took from the party were like after I left. And my Road Rules dreams were over.
They were crushed.
Because
Theo was like, you're not going to be on the show.
I didn't get on the show. Yeah, I did not get on the show. And so, yeah, he was great doing his thing then. And then obviously, you know, both being from Louisiana, we connected here and there. I remember he came out one time when I worked for the Cowboys. And
you didn't invite me to that. Thanks.
I brought him on the field. I have a picture of me, you, and Kelly Foster in a Cowboys suite, but I believe it was an OU game, right?
OU, BYU, first game of the year, we lost to BYU.
Your memory's really good, by the way. You're like a fish,
I have
a goldfish.
Terrible memory.
Oh, you do?
Oh, you asked my boyfriend, he goes, what did we just talk about? I don't know. But I remember stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it was traumatizing.
Yeah. So.
And I also had a really fun time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And we went to PM that night, I think.
PM Lounge. Yeah. We used to pay the light bill there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude, great comedian. I mean, I'd love to connect with him again just because like he's so fun to be around. But
well, if you have a stint in Nashville.
There you go. I didn't even know he lived there. I thought he lived in LA.
Yeah. Still. So, you know what? I'm not even subscribed to his podcast anymore, but I listen to.
Rude.
I know. Why do I do
Theo,
that?
you better subscribe to this podcast.
Like he gives
also,
a rat's
we're going
ass.
to put it out there. We're going to put it out there.
Yeah, he's like,
Theo Vaughn, we
who
want
is
you
this? I don't remember you at all.
Yes.
He's like, he's going to totally deny this ever happened.
I know. He said something on his podcast about a date to a grocery store one time.
It wasn't a grocery store. Modern Market is
Modern
food.
Market sounds like a grocery store, though.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a Mendocino Farms or something.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you.
Way before it was out, so it was an OG. But what was I going to say? Oh, I listened to a lot of his comedian friends' podcasts. Bobby Lee is one of my favorite comedians of all time. He has Tiger Belly.
Yeah.
And Theo comes on there. Bert Kreischer, he goes on Bert Kreischer's podcast. I listen to Joe Rogan a little bit. They're just really, really long episodes. But if someone like Theo's on, I'll listen to that.
Yeah.
So I know about his life through all of that, and he does have a place in Nashville. I think he bought it during the pandemic, and so you should call him.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him. I
don't know what number you have of his.
I'm gonna try him after this and see
I
if he
guarantee the
responds.
number I have of his is no longer in service because he was just on Bobby Lee's podcast maybe 2 weeks ago.
And he said he changed it.
Well, I think he didn't give Bobby Lee his new number.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And he was sitting on his podcast and he was like, why didn't you give me, because he changes his number a lot, I guess. So
I need to listen to more podcasts. Right now, I just live in murder mysteries, like Dateline. But I've seen I've either seen or heard every Dateline for the past 15 years. Like
I do need to introduce you to Joe then, because that's all he watches.
I'm not like, I don't love blood. So like, I'm not a killer or like, I wouldn't want to murder someone, but I've seen so many episodes of Dateline that if like you were kidnapped, I feel like I could solve it prior to like the cops solving it. Like I have that much research into Dateline.
I feel like there's
NBC.
so many fans of these murder mystery podcasts and TV shows now that the internet sleuths have gotten better than the actual detectives themselves.
Yeah.
And you've seen documentaries about how they have actually solved stuff before the professionals.
Yeah.
So I believe that.
I'm into it. If anybody you have a kidnap in your family, let me know. I'll be on the case. I'm on it.
Okay, but only if you have time. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty busy.
If you're not traveling.
I'm pretty busy, but yeah. If it's funny. Like, a very eligible like woman that gets kidnapped,
then you're going to be
single,
extremely concerned about her safety.
I'm like only specifically for safety reasons. Maybe we'll get married after. Who knows?
Yes.
Yeah, but let me know.
Stay-at-home mom aspirations.
Yeah.
A good Christian lady.
Yeah, we'll take all those things.
Yes. Someone you can bring home to mom, then call you, and you will be on the case.
Yeah, I don't know about bring home to mom, honestly. Like, my mom, let me just tell you, my mom, like, I love that woman. Let me just say this. Let me say it louder.
Yeah.
I love that woman. My mom, when I start dating somebody, I have to, like, ease her in. Like, let's say I like go on a date with a girl. My mom will like add her on Instagram like right away.
After one date?
After one date, like if I just say her name. And I'm like, Mom, you can't do that. And my mom's like, no, Ryan, like
it's hurting you.
She's like, you don't understand how social media works, Ryan. Like it's social. So my mom thinks like
she's trying to teach you about it.
Yeah, she's teaching me about it. And she's like, why wouldn't like, this girl, A&A girl, ABC girl, whatever her name is, why wouldn't she want to be my friend? Like, you're my son, whatever. So
you're like, because she doesn't know you.
I'm like, Mom, that's weird. And so, but then like once she's in, I think it's cool that like my mom is like friends with my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Except like there was this girl when I moved back to New Orleans. I moved a Dallas girl to New Orleans, which was a bad idea.
I know her.
Yeah, you did know. OU girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we moved to New Orleans and my mom and her became really tight, which is great.
Yeah.
Text, talk a lot, whatever. So I remember we were living together and like I came home one night and she was like in the kitchen, like doing the dishes, but like kind of like aggressively doing the dishes. Like I could
your girlfriend, not your
the
mom.
girlfriend,
Okay.
the girlfriend. I could just tell she was like frustrated about something,
Yeah.
Like, and so like in my conversation with her, how when people like just kind of want to like start an argument, like they're just
you can just tell they're ready.
Yeah, they're just like ready to
like,
argue
how was your
about
day?
something.
And you're like, wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And so I'm like, almost said her name. I'm like, hey, do you want to talk about this?
We'll call her
like,
Jessica.
Yeah, okay, we'll call her Jessica.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this? Like, everything okay? And she's like, no, Ryan. Your mom told me today you were going to get mad or frustrated about something small. I'm like, my mom told you what? And then she shows me this text message from my mom that said, Jessica, like the sun is rising in the west today and Libras might get mad at something small. So just be really patient with Ryan.
What? Wait, she sent a horoscope?
Yeah. To my girlfriend saying that like Libras could get mad at something small today. I'm like, Mom, there are boundaries and like you are now crossing them.
But why did Jessica get mad at that? I would take it. I would laugh at it and be like,
No,
look what your mom sent me.
I just think that she was in a bad mood
Already?
So yeah,
Okay.
so
I get that.
I forgot why she was really aggravated. It might have been because I didn't do the dishes.
You probably did something.
Yeah. Who knows what I did
Let's
at the
just call
time.
it like it is. Yeah.
But I would say it was amplified because my mom had already told her that like I was gonna have a short temper that day.
And she was already annoyed at you for something,
Exactly.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, well,
Your mom
be
already
careful
said
about Ryan's feelings. Oh, I would have. Yeah. I get it now. Jessica, on your side.
Yeah. So now I have to like, and she gets invested. You know, like my mom wants grandkids. So if she starts to like a girl, she's like.
But, you know, if she's going to friend her or follow her on social media, I'm now seeing why these girls are like, oh, we're not the right sign match.
Yeah.
Because your mom just followed me and I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That's why I don't give any. My mom's like, oh, you know, what'd you do? I'm like, oh, I went on, you know, a date. Oh, with who? I'm like, nope. Because I've made the mistake of just saying the first name. And then she'll go to my Instagram and be like, who does Ryan follow?
Yeah.
But she's a lovely lady.
She's smart about it.
I love her.
Actually.
She's great. But yeah, that's why my mom, we got to keep some boundaries with mom and social media. Yeah.
Well, she just really wants you to get married and have kids.
Oh, listen, her heart's in the right
yeah.
place. Yeah, no doubt.
So can't blame her. But yeah, there has to be boundaries sometimes. I remember when I was dating, I just wouldn't ever tell my mom anything because she would get overly excited. And I'm like, listen, 99% chance this isn't going to work out. You're never going to meet him.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to answer questions about him because he may not be in my life in 3 days.
Yeah.
So I get it.
We're not going to talk about him.
Yeah, it's a waste of time and energy. Let's talk about, you know, the Dodgers. I don't care, like anything else. So, which, by the way, you know, if you ever get Dodgers tickets,
listen, that's the one thing
over.
I've worked in pro sports for a long time. I've already offered you some Dodgers tickets if you want them. Tough week for your Dodgers, though.
Yes,
there's like a little bit of a.
We finally got him, Ohtani.
And then I don't know. There's a gambling story out there right now.
Yeah, like it's his interpreter.
Well, that's what the story is.
That's what the story is. Is he the fall guy? Is he not?
We'll have to see.
Out.
I think like, you know, the MLB is going to do their own investigation. And like these leagues are super sensitive to gambling. Like you,
Pete Rose.
You didn't see, you might not have seen this today, but there's a player for the Raptors in the NBA. And there was some suspicious gambling sort of, I guess, money being wagered on his stats for a game. And now they thought that he was kind of like not playing his best on purpose. So, yeah. Like,
what do you think?
So, like, this is going to happen, right? Like, you know, we all these leagues looked at all this illegal gambling money that was being spent. Now they've legalized it in most cases. I mean, ESPN now even has an app, right? And so alongside of that, there's a lot of money that's going to a lot of people. Leagues, teams, brands, platforms, TV deals are impacted by it.
Yeah.
But now what comes along with that, right? You can't have a ton of good with no risk. Now, like there's this opportunity for all of these players and people to potentially make more money, you know, by sort of skirting the system. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but
it's a gray area. It
Shohei
has some good and some bad.
Yeah.
And what were we going to say about Shohei?
Well, I was just going to say, like, his looks like a little more cleaner. Like, it kind of looks like it was the interpreter.
You think so?
But
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I wanted
other
to
guy,
cry when I heard the news.
The other guy for the Raptors, he looks pretty guilty.
Okay.
But innocent till proven guilty on this podcast. But it looks bad. Bad look.
I hope it wasn't Shohei. Shohei, don't do this to me. We waited so long to get you. This is my plea. I'm looking into the camera.
I
wanted to see you play. I knew you weren't going to pitch, but I wanted to see you play. Just don't do this to me. We needed you. We lost Corey Seager to the Rangers. He was my favorite player.
Yeah.
I've just been in a really bad place for a couple of years. So, and now it's just not getting better.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Not to be dramatic.
But you just almost cried into the camera.
I did. And I said I almost died. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
I'm
this
definitely
was
going to
fun.
have you come back at some point.
Yeah,
I feel like
would
we have
love
so much
to.
more to talk about.
No, it was great. It was great to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Super proud of you and everything you're doing. It's so great to see. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
it was a lot of fun.
And
Thanks.
you too.
Yeah.
So, and you'll be back talking to my realtors and for your Challenger program at some
Yeah,
point.
let's do it. And any other companies out in Dallas are interested, like love to have a conversation with them. So
Yeah. And where can we find you social media wise or anywhere
LinkedIn's
else?
probably easiest.
Okay.
Yeah, LinkedIn's probably easiest. And it gives a good insight to kind of what we do at GSW as well.
And why don't you tell everyone how to spell your last name so they can find you?
Picou. Picou.
All right. You got that? Ryan Picou on LinkedIn. Find him, people.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.